How are you doing, guys? Welcome to the Bar Steelers. This is going to be our match review for the Serbia game last night that the Republic of Ireland unfortunately lost 1-0, as we all know. So I'm here with Kevin and Nick. Myself and Nick were at the match last night. Kevin was watching on TV, so we've got a bit of different perspectives on it. So as we know, we are lost 1-0 to a, who scored again? Kolarov goal. Nick, what did you think of it overall?
Improved performance, I think that's the main thing, but again, kind of outdated tactics. I think if you're gonna, like, I thought it was positive he was playing a diamond. He's gotten us results in the past, but
Yeah.
James McLean, kind of on the left hand side of that diamond, he doesn't have the footballing brain to do that. I hate criticising him because he's one of my favourite players of all time. But he's been poor in our last 3 games, and it seems he's become immune to criticism. You know, I was looking at different ratings on different websites, and he was getting kind of 7s and 8s. You know, he never, because we see other things, you know, there's a bit of space when you're in the stadium, and the amount of times he didn't spread it wide when there was a lot of space on. I think Serbia were playing 3 at the back, so they were stretched a lot, and he didn't exploit that. It didn't work, and you know, Walters just didn't look fit. Don't know if he's carrying something. Brady, I think, should have gone left back. He played better at left back than in midfield. Hurren maybe should have started. So I think, again, selection wise, in terms of formation, I think it was good. The personnel, the balance just wasn't right, and I think that kind of showed during the game. That we passed it better. Myler took a bit of control of the game, and that was huge. I don't think Whelan will be coming back in now, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I think Myler kind of nailed that place.
I think Myler's nailed it on now, so it was positive to see that. But then even the last, you know, half an hour, it was just kind of, you know, outdated football. Again, a huge improvement. It's a strong Serbian team, but they were there for the taking, and to lose, especially with them being down to 10 men, is extremely disappointing.
Kevin, what do you think watching at home of how was it portrayed on the TV?
I'd have to agree with Nick in terms of the style of play was quite outdated for the last half an hour. Again, about the diamond. What I would say, one positive was our defensive performance. I think we gave up maybe 2 chances in the whole game. Randolph made a good save, and then there was the Kolarov goal. I have to give special praise, I thought, to Shane Duffy. I thought he gave a really commanding performance at centre half. I know you're not his biggest fan.
No, I have to say he was really good.
He had a goal disallowed. Like we talked about the team predictions for Georgia. I picked him initially in that team because I thought he was a great threat in the box. He scored against Georgia, and he had goal disallowed against last night against Serbia.
And Austria.
I thought he had a very commanding performance. He was a real leader in that backline. We're missing Seamus Coleman as a leader in defence at the moment. I thought Shane Duffy really took on that mantle. He was ordering players around all night. You saw that he was constantly talking. You probably noticed that in the stadium. I think that was if I could take one positive from last night, I think it was Shane Duffy really growing into the Irish team.
Clark had a good game as well. He didn't do much wrong. You know, they actually played quite well in defence. Christie might got sucked in for their goal, but you know, Colin's shot was probably very strong. I watched it back today, and
I thought Clark was great actually, because even guys around us were kind of criticising him, and I heard a guy saying he hasn't won 1 header in the whole game. He won a huge amount of headers. I think him and Duffy are working brilliantly. As I said, I've said it before, but like, they're both kind of big bruising centre backs, where I think having a ball playing centre back is going to definitely benefit a team like us. But I thought Clark was brilliant.
On that point, Nick, I actually think they're quite good on the ball. I actually think Kieran Clark.
I think Clark's better than Duffy.
I think Clark is actually quite comfortable on the ball. He can.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, he's not a visionary in terms of making passes, but he certainly can pick out a pass to find someone like Myler, or to find if Houlihan does come deeper.
He's probably one of the better ball playing centre backs we've had, probably ever. Because we haven't had many, but. He's pretty good. In some defence, we're quite happy with us in the goal. I thought Randolph maybe could have done better, but I watched it back in the strength.
It's a thunderbolt.
It's an absolute thunder bastard. In the midfield, it was like, I mean, we were standing outside Slattery's when the team got announced, and kind of it was just like, Jesus, they dropped Whelan and Myler, and they brought in, Whelan and Arta, and they brought in Myler and Houlihan, which was really positive. I did like the diamond, as you said about McLean. I don't think he's the right person to play in that diamond, but Houlihan was excellent. He just is excellent. Like, you know, his little touches, he broke down the play a lot. I thought Brady was good in kind of breaking down the play, but just he was a bit wasteful on the ball and a bit slow at times. So.
Too central for him. He's better. The wider he is, the more we benefit.
I thought he could have done better. Going forward, but there's a big problem now for Ireland is we lack creativity and creating goal scoring opportunities. Like off the top of my head, I can only think of Long had a shot in the first half that got tipped over.
Yeah.
The goal is allowed, and then we had a few chances when they were down to 10 men and whatever. But I can't really think of anything else.
I think we could have certainly had a penalty in that second half. Darren Murphy, I don't know if you guys saw it in the stadium. Darren Murphy he had a clear header on goal, and the Serbian defender just kind of pulled him out of it. The referee just seemed to ignore it, which was very unusual considering he was very strong on any kind of physical contact last night. We've had that referee before. I think he's Turkish as far as I'm aware. So. He's any time there was any kind of arm anywhere near an opponent, there was a free out. I don't know how he didn't give that penalty last night based on how he'd been going through the whole match. I thought he didn't have the greatest game, but I thought we could have played him better. There was a few times, there was one time in the second half where it was a couple of minutes to go, the ball went forward and John Walters, and he knew what the referee had been at the whole match. He put his arm on the opponent and it was coming straight to Shane Long. I think we needed to have that kind of intelligence to say, what way is the referee going about this match? We needed to be smarter than how we played.
It's the same as Belgrade. I mean, we were watching it here, and any time the Serbians went down, they went down screaming. And again, the ref was buying every single one of them, and the replays would have suggested that they were throwing themselves on the ground.
You saw Mitrovic's, the thing that Brady got booked for was an absolute joke.
It was criminal,
the thing was, right, when they went down to 10 men, instead of all of a sudden there's this little bit of extra space on the pitch. Houlihan had been taken off probably a bit prematurely in my eyes. We've an extra man, and instead of using that space, we just went back to this, let's hoof it long and try and win things. Now it got your man sent off, but when you've got a man up, you want to play the triangles, get them out there, which is what Houlihan's there for.
But even before the red card, I think Serbia were playing three at the back.
Yeah, they were.
And if you're playing three at the back, there is always going to be space out wide. And instead we played look, I like the diamond, but we played a narrow system against a narrow system where if you're playing against three at the back, it's very easy to exploit the wider positions. A little bit like we did against Austria in the first while. But even before the red card, there was space out wide. McLean, as I said, in the middle, just wasn't lifting his head. He was cutting inside when Christie or Ward were overlapping. There was miles of space out there, and it was down to him just not lifting his head, not having the intelligence to give it out. And we could have had a lot more joy. And again, that's not McLean's fault. He's a winger, and he's played in the central midfield. Myler picked out a good few passes, getting it out wide. But there was space there even before the red card. Again, it's easier for us to see at the game. But if you're playing three at the back, it's a lot easier to overlap a team playing three at the back than it is.
The substitutions were interesting as well, because we were saying there, they don't have McGeady on the bench, which is the 60th, 70th minute he comes on. So we knew Murphy would come on, and then it was like, well, who else, if we're needing a goal, is going to come on? O'Dowd I thought was positive. Now he's quite young and raw, and he did all right. Hurahan did okay. He snatched to the shot.
Yeah,
right?
he
at the end. So that was interesting. But we just completely lack creativity. But, there's Brady's set pieces. They're great when he gets them right. They're dangerous, but
we didn't get them right enough last
night.
Especially in the second half when we had three big guys up top. Darren Murphy had quite a positive impact. We could have had that penalty. He was the cause of the sending off. He had a shot on target. I think Darren Murphy sometimes is derided when he plays for Ireland because he hasn't scored a lot of goals for us. But I think he always puts in a very good shift. He's probably the most informed striker we have. He's probably the striker who's playing the most out of all of our strikers. I think he drove us on that second half.
Yeah, he's difficult to deal with.
Yeah,
but I think the problem's a little bit deeper, because if you look at we played a diamond last night, but during the campaign O'Neill has played Hendrick on the wing, he's played Walters on the wing. He's not, I think for creativity, a lot of it comes from out wide, a lot of it comes from the number 10 position. A lot of international teams will play with an attacking three and two holding midfielders and a striker. We play with, it alternates, it depends. We played with one holding midfielder last night with Myler, and that worked out really well. But the attacking three can be McLean, who in my opinion, fantastic player, but in my opinion, he hasn't got that technical ability. He doesn't create a huge amount.
Yeah.
He really, like for a winger, I mean, I'm always arguing he should be playing left back, and I think the world and his wife would disagree with that. But for his physicality, for his passion to keep him on the pitch, I'd have him almost left back.
Yeah.
I push Brady onto the wing. Brady struggled in central positions. He really did. But out wide, he can cut in, he can whip in crosses, and then even the more kind of technically gifted guys like McGeady, who again gets a bashing. But to be honest, in this campaign, and McLean has had a strong campaign, he's given the ball away a lot more cheaply than McGee has in the past. And that's a broad statement, but you know, we have to look beyond James McLean and the person he is and look at him on the ball. He's given the ball away a lot more cheaply than McGeady, and McGeady does give it away. But if you've McGeady and Brady in those advanced positions, we're already more creative rather than Walters, who again should be playing centre forward, who's just too slow for the wing, not technically gifted enough for the wing.
Yeah.
And then having Houlihan in that number 10 role. But as well as that, there's players who aren't getting selected, the likes of Liam Kelly. Like, throw him straight in. Woodburn came straight in for Wales, and he's about 5 years younger than Kelly and less experienced. And he set up their goal, scored a goal. Where Kelly, it seems we wait till guys are in their mid-20s. So it's good enough. It's good enough for Wales to bring on a 17, 18-year-old, but it's not good enough for us to bring on a 21-year-old who's in form. And in my opinion, because a lot of people might have seen much of Kelly before, in the last 2 years he's been the better player than Wes Houlihan. We think Houlihan is the only technical option. He's not. Okay, we've Kelly. Look, Alan Judge won't be back in time, but he was an option that was around there. And then, you know, you've got even the likes of Ryan Manning. Now, hasn't played that much for QPR, but played for the 21s last night and dominated, you know, really dominated.
Scored twice, didn't he?
Scored twice. And I'm not saying that these guys are world class, I'm not saying that they're amazing, but they add the creativity that we're missing. You know, hopefully down the line Jack Byrne will come back and fulfill that role. But it's not like Houlihan is the only one.
I think Hurrican can certainly play that position as well. Like, he does play a little bit deeper for his club, but he scored 4 goals in 2 games at one stage this season. I think he's
got a hat-trick.
He's certainly capable of playing in that more advanced role.
Brady could play that role, but the only problem is O'Neill's, as I said, you need an attacking 3, but instead he's playing with a flat 5. Okay, so the 2 wingers who should be in the final third, literally camping out in the final third, and you know, ideally someone like McGeady or Brady, or even Johnny Hayes. You know, look, might be a long shot, but even Johnny Hayes, if you have them in an attacking position, the number 10 can feed off them a lot more and link in with them. The way Ireland set up, especially against Georgia when Brady was in the number 10 position, they were sitting so flat that he was so isolated, and people slated Brady, but you can only work with what's around you.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
one thing we haven't kind of spoken about, because we were talking about the creative thing, was David Myler had an excellent game. He was man of the match by a country mile. Like, you know, we were all kind of going, oh, is Whelan going to play again? And, you know, he didn't play him, and Myler came in, sat there by himself and cleaned up everything. Had a little, you know, we won the ball back, kept it in, nutmegged it, and the whole place around us went mad. Like, it was brilliant.
Like, you'd never see Whelan doing that.
Never see Whelan do that. And I've kind of always been a bit mixed on David Myler. I have to say, last night I was like, I want Myler starting in that position going forward.
I think what's great about him is he does the job that Whelan does. He cleans up, he makes tackles, but he gets his head up. And he looks for players. There was so many times last night where the ball did come to him, and he did his first thought, like Whelan can do sometimes, is I'm going to play this to the full back, or I'm going to put this back to one of the centre halves who lumped it long. He looked up and he looked for McLean, he looked for Brady, he looked for Houlihan. He wanted to be positive. He
was actually always in the first half when we were down there, and he was always available to come out and switch the play.
He was a great pivot.
Then, which was strange. So eventually, like, they took him off, and you know, because we were going for it, they brought on, I think, Hurrican to kind of push forward a bit. But then McLean stepped into that role, and like, it's not McLean's fault.
No, it's not. He's under instruction.
He was under instruction, but McLean's not good at that. And you could see him; he was trying to like do it, but it's not his forte. It's not what he's there to do. And I felt bad for him in that regard. Everyone was getting up.
McLean, like, first of all, McLean, in an ideal world, look, I mean, he's had a great campaign, and I hate bashing him. But as I said, I don't think he should be immune to criticism.
No,
I think his best role is off the bench, running at players in the last 20 minutes. And as I said, and he's played a couple of times at left back for West Brom this season. I'd love to see him there. I think he gives away the ball too much in the final third, And I was saying this even when he was playing well. Well, no, he played well last night, but even against Austria, I said he was giving the ball away cheaply. Even in the Wales game, which he was man of the match and phenomenal, I was saying he was giving away the ball too cheaply. But in an ideal world, his best role is, coming off the bench, making the impact, and he can't do that. Just on Myler, I thought Myler just had more authority than Whelan, a cockiness to him, and that can be a good thing. You could see him communicating. You could see him, running around with a bit of swagger to him, where Whelan looks a little bit shy on the ball. As I said, more power to him, better at picking out those little passes. I could see him playing balls into the feet of Houlihan and into the strikers, where Whelan, it's all a little bit one-dimensional. Look, he's been a great servant, but you have to, and it's been the case for years, but there are players who can do Whelan's job, but they can do that bit extra, and that's what Myler offers. I don't think Myler's the best option in there. There are other holding midfielders. I think Archer was unlucky. Look, he had an awful game against Georgia, but I think he was unlucky not to start. And McCarthy, when he comes back, I think McCarthy suffered for Ireland beside Whelan, but in that role that Myler played, he could thrive. So we do have better options in there that can do Whelan's job, but do better. And I think it's time. Look, I think Whelan's been great in the coffin for Whelan's been great, but I think that is an element.
You can't drop Myler after that performance.
I just like to touch on one more thing. You're talking about James McLean. I think his discipline, is one thing that I really noticed last night. He made a few. He really could have got sent off.
We spoke about.
He was lucky. He tread the line. He made a tackle in the first couple of minutes. Now it was dangerous enough. It probably should have been a yellow card.
That's what we said after the Georgia game. Was he just needs to control it. Yeah. It's all well good.
It's an aggressiveness that he seems to have, and I understand that he loves playing for his country and he gives all his energy. But his discipline, I thought, he's missing the next game, and that's a huge game. It's the same with Robbie Brady. Yeah. Now, okay, Brady was but Brady was unlucky with the yellow card, right? But Brady has 4 yellows in 7 games. He's going to miss 2 out of the 10 games that we're playing. For me, that's not good enough. No. He's not playing in a defensive position where he should. Not that he should be picking up yellow cards, but picking up a yellow card is understandable. He has played in either the number 10 role or he's played in central midfield. For me, that really needs to be something that needs to be looked at.
And the yellow card he got in Austria, he was actually playing left back in Austria, but it was for kicking the ball away. Yeah. Now he was unlucky last night. That was
Mitrovic goes there.
That was criminal football.
Yeah.
But
no, I think you're right. We said it after the Georgia game. It just needs to it's brilliant. We love the pride and the passion.
Yeah.
But
and he got the crowd going.
Because even after he got booked, kind of went in for one more tackle, and you were like, okay, man, relax.
Especially with that referee,
the Serbian right back, after he got booked for clattering Ward, just became really cautious then. And it actually worked to our advantage because O'Dowd got 2 balls in, but he just needs to control it. So we'll be back with the match ratings later on today, and we'll be going through the whole team from 1 to whatever came on. I think it was what number came on? 15, I think. 1 to 15 will be soon. We'll see you there in a few minutes.